Have you ever walked down a jet bridge, glanced out the window at the wing, and noticed something? A small colored sticker, an arrow pointing at a panel seam, a diamond shape in yellow or red, numbers stenciled in a font too small to read from the terminal. Most people see it and keep walking. Some people see it and feel a flicker of something. Is that normal? Should that be there? Is this plane okay? I have covered what happens inside the cabin. The food, the temperature, your body. Now, the outside. The part of the plane you can actually see before boarding. And the marks on that wing are not damage. They are a language. A technical language written by maintenance engineers for other maintenance engineers. And once you can read even a few words of it, flying starts to feel very different. The most common marks you will see are panel identifiers. Every section of an airplane's outer skin is a removable panel. Behind each panel is a system, hydraulic lines, wiring bundles, fuel connectors, actuators. The numbers stenciled next to each panel tell a mechanic exactly which one it is, so they can locate it in the maintenance manual without guessing. On a Boeing 737, there are over 100 individually numbered access panels on each wing alone. Those numbers are not a warning. They are an address system, like street numbers on a building. Then there are the arrows. Small arrows painted or stenciled near panel edges. These indicate the direction of airflow or the correct orientation for reinstallation. If a panel is removed for inspection and put back in the wrong direction, it can disrupt airflow, increase drag, or in rare cases cause buffeting at high speed. The arrows exist so that a technician working at 3 in the morning under floodlights on a wet tarmac puts the panel back the right way. It is a human error prevention tool. Nothing more. Now, the colored shapes. This is where it gets interesting and where the fear usually starts. A yellow diamond or triangle on an airplane surface is typically an inspection point marker. It tells the next maintenance team to look here specifically. There was a finding, a measurement, a note in the log. Maybe a dent was found during a walk-around. Maybe a rivet was flagged during a scheduled check. The yellow mark says this spot has been identified, documented, and is being tracked. It does not mean the plane is broken. It means someone found something, wrote it down, and tagged it so the next crew knows where to look. Red marks are rarer and mean something different. A red tag usually indicates a component that has been deactivated or a system that is inoperative. This connects to one of the most misunderstood concepts in aviation, the minimum equipment list. Every commercial aircraft has a document that specifies which systems are allowed to be inoperative while the plane still flies legally. It sounds alarming until you understand the logic. Airplanes are built with massive redundancy. 2 engines when one is enough for flight, multiple hydraulic systems, backup electrical buses, triple redundant flight computers. The minimum equipment list defines which of those backups can be offline, while the remaining systems still provide full safety coverage. Here is a concrete example. A modern aircraft has 3 independent hydraulic systems. If one fails, the other 2 provide full control authority. The minimum equipment list allows the plane to operate with 2 out of 3 hydraulic systems active. That is not cutting corners. That is the redundancy working as designed. The 3rd system exists specifically so that losing one does not ground the fleet. If a weather radar fails on a clear day, the plane can fly. If a backup generator is offline but the primary and secondary are working, the plane can fly. If one of 2 autopilot computers is inoperative, the plane can fly on the other one. Each of these scenarios has been analyzed, tested, and approved by the manufacturer and the aviation authority. The red tag on a component means it has been logged, deactivated, and approved for continued operation under the list. A dispatcher, a maintenance controller, and the captain all sign off before departure. That tag is not a secret. It is a decision made by 3 separate qualified people. Documented in writing. Every deferral comes with a time limit. The repair must be completed within a set number of flight hours or calendar days. If the deadline passes without repair, The airplane is grounded until the work is done. No extensions, no exceptions. Here is the part the fear-based version of this story never mentions. The marks on the outside of the plane are evidence that the system is working. A dent that has been found, measured, and tagged means someone looked. A deactivated component with a red tag means someone decided, documented the decision, and accepted responsibility. An arrow on a panel means someone designed a safeguard against human error during reassembly. Every mark is a paper trail. And in aviation, paper trails are what keep planes in the air. The competitor version of this story says if you see a mark on the wing, don't fly. The actual version is closer to the opposite. If you see marks, it means the airplane is being monitored, maintained, and documented. A wing with no marks at all would worry a mechanic more than one with a dozen tags, because no marks might mean nobody looked. I talked to a line maintenance engineer who works night shifts at a major European hub. He told me the average narrow-body aircraft gets a walk-around inspection before every single flight. A full visual check of the fuselage, wings, landing gear, engine inlets, control surfaces. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes and follows a checklist that covers over 60 individual items. Any finding goes into the technical log. If it meets the criteria for deferral under the minimum equipment list, it gets tagged, logged, and assigned a deadline for repair. If it does not meet deferral criteria, the plane does not fly. Period. He said the system is not perfect, nothing built by humans is. But the layers of redundancy, the documentation requirements, the sign-off chains, they are what make commercial aviation the safest form of transportation on the planet by a factor that is not even close. So the next time you walk down a jet bridge and see marks on the wing, you are not looking at a problem. You are looking at a maintenance culture that documents everything, tracks everything, and builds safety into the assumption that things will break. Because they will. The question is not whether something goes wrong. The question is whether someone noticed, wrote it down, and made a decision. The marks on the wing are the answer. Someone did. Wing marks are visual. You can see them, decode them, understand them. But the signals the crew gives you inside the cabin, those are behavioral. A flight attendant who suddenly sits down. A meal service that stops mid-aisle. A tone you have never heard before. A pilot I know spent 30 years behind that door, and he explained what each one of those signals actually means, and why the 40-second panic story you may have heard is not how any of this works. That is next.